Hello and welcome. My name is Stanley Ubunna, and this is supposed to be a tutorial on how you can use the EQA reevaluation software that has been made available to you. Okay, so this is the EQA evaluation software. It's powered by Kraygon. Okay, and the aim of having this software is specifically for those that have undergone the fundamentals of technical quality management bootcamp. That is the FTQM bootcamp. All right. In the FTQM bootcamp, one of the things we discussed were external quality assessment and EQA, and how that there's a need for you to carry out your EQA review and EQA reevaluation. Right? Remember, we spoke about some statistical concepts in EQA and all that. Well, this software is supposed to help you carry out in your EQA review process and in your EQA reevaluation process. All right. So if you have gone through the FTQM bootcamp, this is supposed to be a tool that helps you in accomplishing your goal. All right. So it does practically two things for you. So it's helping you in your calculations and your reevaluation, as well as in documenting your findings. Because in quality, if something is not documented, it wasn't done. Right. If it wasn't documented, it wasn't done. Okay. So let's go into it and see and understand what the software is all about and how you can use it. All right. The first thing you'd observe here is that, or the first thing you should take note of is number one, do not try to use this on your phone, right? It's an Excel sheet designed majorly for a computer. So either a laptop or a desktop computer. Trying to use it on your phone would not work, right? You would not have a palatable experience using it on your phone. So it's very advisable that you use it in a computer, maybe in the laboratory. There's a computer in the laboratory, or maybe the manager's laptop, wherever it is. This can be installed there. It's plug and play. You're not even installing anything. It's basically plug and play. All right. So that's the first thing you need to do. Very important. And then secondly, when you look at the software, you'd observe a couple of things. The first thing you notice is that there are some cells, or there are like three different colors you are seeing in different cells. The first color you might observe is the blue color, right? The blue colored cells. These blue colored cells are like title cells. They stand as titles to let you know something, maybe to let you know what the preceding cell is doing or what it's saying. All right. And then the next color, one thing about the title cells is that you cannot edit them. So don't even bother trying to edit them. The blue colored cells cannot be edited. And it's done that way to preserve the structure of your software so that someone does not mess it up for you. Right? And that brings me to the yellow cells. The yellow cells are the cells you can edit. So this is a yellow cell. This is a yellow cell. All these are yellow cells. This whole area are made of yellow cells because these are areas that you have the ability to edit stuff, right? Or make your data entries if need be. Okay, so if you look at it, for instance, this is a document ID. If you recall some of the major components of a QMS document, there is a need for a unique ID for every document enlisted in your QMS, right? So you also need to have the opportunity to rename or give this document a unique ID depending on your organization. So for instance, there's Kraygon here. You can try to edit it to whatever the name of your institute is or your organization is. Maybe it's Teslim Inc., right? Whatever it is, Teslim Inc. or Taser Hospitals, Taser H, QMS, EQA. You can be anything, however you name your documents, right? So let us say this is the index number you assign to this document. It works. All right. So you can see that you can easily edit that. Okay. So that's why if you look at these blue sections, you have your document ID as a title, the EQA revolution sheet. The EQA, so as the document ID is there, yes. And then the EQA revolution sheet serves as your document title because every document should have a title, right? And then you have here, you can impute your date here. And then your EQA provider can be anyone. It can be CAP, Thistle, Rikers, Barat, whatever it is, whatever the provider is you're using. You can impute that particular provider's details here. The sample number, every EQA sample has a unique number. You can impute that here for easy traceability. And then the program of that EQA can also be imputed here, whether it's chemistry, immunoassay, or hematology, whatever it is, you can impute it right here, and it's easy for you to use. Okay. Now, the next thing you must understand is what this gray colored area is. So you understand blue colors are for naming areas and all that, but the gray colored areas, if you notice, they are larger. So they are larger for a reason, right? This is a gray colored cell. This is a gray colored cell. They are larger for a reason because they need to give you the allowance to be able to like type and express yourself, to write about your, for instance, these observations from your first run, right? This one is titled corrective action taken and outcome, right? Remember, for you to have corrective action, you need to have done your root cause analysis, okay, to know what the root cause was. And then obviously your conclusion after your whole investigation, and then who reviewed it and who approved it, depending on the facility, right? The reviewer is obviously the person reviewed by. The name that should be there is obviously the person that should be the person that carried out the EQA review or evaluation. Okay, so take note: document ID, date, EQA provider name, sample number, and the program. Okay, so that takes care of this part. If you come down to this other part, you would see different columns that are named different things. So this is serial number, this is analyte name. This is where the analyte of concern would be. This column is titled your results. This would be where your values are imputed. Comparator mean, the mean of your comparator, right? The mean of that you got from your EQA. All right. The calculated standard deviation from your EQA, and then your Z score. This calculates automatically. That's why it's not colored yellow. It's a protected place. It's a protected column where the calculation happens automatically. If you went through during the FTQM bootcamp, we'll discuss about how to calculate Z score, what they mean. Okay, and you need to understand what the Z score means, because it brings us to the next column, or to the last column here, which is pass or fail. So depending on the Z score you're getting here, you need to impute here whether you passed or failed. Okay, so let me just do a demonstration so it doesn't look like we're talking more. So already the document ID has been listed here, right? And then the date, let's say the date is 6th of June 2025. This is your CAP. The number of the provider, let's say it's CAP or Malice, whatever it is, doesn't exist. This is just for demonstration purpose. And then the sample number is 12, right? And then the EQA program working on is chemistry. And let's say I'm trying to review the outcome or the performance of GGT. All right, so I have GGT right here. And then my results. Let's say in GGT I got like maybe 450 U per liter. Okay, and then in my comparator mean, they were getting stuff like I observed that the value from my comparator mean was like 465 U per liter, and the standard deviation was say 12. Okay, if you observe, the Z score automatically calculates for me, and depending on what my findings here are, what my Z score is, I can say whether it passed. I can write either pass or fail. All right. Obviously, if it's pass, then it gives a green line to show that it's okay. If you write pass, it shows you a green line, and if you write fail, it shows you a red. It shows you a red signal, so you can know that okay. So maybe someone else is looking at it. It's easy for them to deduct what your findings are. Right, during the FTQM bootcamp, we discussed how to navigate to know whether a Z score belongs in the passed spectrum or the failed spectrum. So that should not be any news. And it's important that I mention something vital. Okay, this software is meant to be used only for quantitative assays. Quantitative assays are assays whose results or outputs come out as numerical values. Okay, so it's only used for assays like maybe hematology parameters that has to do with numbers, not qualitative assays. Any assay that has to do with positive, negative, degree of expression, maybe plus, 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 three pluses. Those are all qualitative assays or qualitative outputs. So this only works for quantitative outputs. Okay, so it's very easy to use. You've seen it. It's very simple. It's very, very simple and easy to use. Let's say I had another parameter here. Let's say glucose. And in glucose, my this thing was 5.5 millimole per liter. My results was 5.5 millimole per liter. And then my comparators mean was say 6.4 millimole per liter, or say 7 millimole per liter. And the standard deviation should be there in your EQA result, was say 0.2, right? So you can see that it's also on the negative, right? So based on your deduction here, you know whether it's passed or failed. Like I said, you should know how to interpret it by now. Okay. And then based on this, you can see whether it passed or failed. It's the same thing. So it helps you. The Z-score calculator here calculates for both positive and negative. Another thing you observe is when you try to impute a data, let's say we're looking at potassium now, or urea, for instance, or let me go for amino acid. Let's say PSA of, let's say we're working on PSA. This is for chemistry, right? But I'm just using PSA here for an example. Okay, let me use ferritin, right? The ferritin value you got was say 7, and then the comparator mean is say 5, and standard deviation is like 0.7. You can see that in this case the z-score is in the positive line, so it helps you calculate for both positive and negative. Okay, finally, another thing you'd observe is whenever I impute only one cell and other cells are not imputed, this place stays empty. However, if I have not imputed all my values correctly, right? Let's say I've not imputed my standard deviation and it can't calculate. This cell will tell me check. Check means one of two things. Either something is missing or something is wrong. So for instance, in this case, what is missing? Something is missing, which is my standard deviation, my comparator standard deviation. But if I put it, it automatically calculates and it's okay, right? Another point where check will show is when I put, let's say I didn't put a numerical value. Let's say I went and put positive and negative, because these things that cannot be calculated. So it tells you to check. It tells you to check because that's an error. So it's telling you check what you've imputed if it's okay, right? And then you do your checks. If it's not okay, you simply clear those cells by clicking delete, right? And that's it. So to enter a cell, you simply click on the cell to enter your values, right? To remove something from a cell, you highlight those cells and you press delete, right? You press delete, so it clears. All right, don't try to clear the rows or anything. Just click on the cell and press delete. You can do some research on how to impute and delete inputs from an Excel sheet. It will also to help you greatly. So now let's go to this particular end, right? Let's go to this particular end, this zone here. You see observation from first run. Why this place is like this is because it's supposed to give the allowance to type what. So you can say from the initial run, GDT, glucose, and ferritin, comma, all flagged as failed, which led to evaluation. Or maybe they didn't all flag as failed. Maybe one of them flagged as failed, while another flagged as flagged as warning, or whatever it is, whatever the reason is why you are doing whatever you're doing. Because remember, this can be failed, this can also be warning actually. If it stays yellow, then it's warning. It can also be pass. This is just for demonstration purpose. All right. So don't try to, you make this decision based on your findings here. But so this is my observation. And then my corrective action, I write what I did. So it was discovered. Let's say it was discovered. My corrective, I'm saying that it was discovered that those parameters were not calibrated as and when due. So calibration was done and then it now passed, right? So you've automatically imputed what your corrective action and your outcome was. So after taking that corrective action, so you can say, okay, as a corrective action, so let's say full stop, and then as a corrective action, it's a corrective action, calibration was done for the respective parameters and rechecked with controls and a rerun. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple to do. Right? You can exhaustively write what you did here. So there are two things that you can do here. If you can't type, you can print it out. When you print it out, you can now use your pen and paper. You can use your pen and write on these boxes. You don't have to type. So in case you don't know how to type on Excel, when you print it out, I'll show you how it looks when you print out. Okay, so you write your conclusion here. All parameters are in acceptable condition. Right? You can write that here. Okay, when you write that here, it's very, very simple. It's very, very simple. It's very easy to do. You write that here, and then you're reviewed by, of course, your name. So let's say it was done by Michael Powell. You can also sign here if you want to, and then approved by whomever approved it. Maybe your lab director, or you write the person's name here. Of course, they should have gone through what you did first before imputing their names. And that's it. You can leave this place blank also. You can leave this place blank. So after reviewing, the person can just write his name on that box and that's it. So how do you now get this to file it? Because remember, that's one of the aims for you to be able to document what you found. It's very simple. After imputing everything you want to do on this sheet, you simply press Ctrl P. And when you do that, there are two pages that will come for you to print. There is this, and there is this. Those two pages. You just do that and you press print, and it will print for you. Print it, staple it. If you didn't type and you want to write, you can write on this second page, and it's very easy for you to navigate. Very, very easy. So this is one of the things that we decided to give out to make some of these things easy for people, right? It's more like a gift, actually. It's more like a gift for the Sigma cohort, of the FTQM bootcamp. We're trying to make more things available for more people to begin to use. Okay. So yes, wishing you the best, good luck, and cheers.